Remember that time Disney really made you mad?
Today we are talking about unpopular Disney decisions.
Well, let's get this show started because you know me, I'm old and I've made a lot of bad decisions.
Disney, when they reopened the parks from the Panini closure.
Disney reopened with Genie Plus, which was a replacement for Disney's Fastpass system that had been in the parks for quite some time.
We're starting dramatic.
We're doing this one first, are we? Good.
This is a sore spot for many of us.
But the big difference is, the crux of the issue is that you gotta pay money for it.
This is like how older people talk about, I remember when McDonald's cheeseburgers were 35 cents.
I think it's more unpopular because of the money, but for me, the bigger problem is how confusing it is.
Yeah, people aren't happy. I'll put it that way. And I won't say that I'm thrilled.
Because I've explained it in a bunch of videos and people still are like, wait, when can I book my next one? What's a fancy ride? How do I ride Mine Train? Like, it should not be this hard.
Or I remember when a movie cost $0.25.
I'm just saying, I'm dealing with the cards that I was dealt.
You shouldn't need like a professional degree in Disney to go to Disney, but you do to go to Disney World.
I mean, taking something that was free and making it cost money? I'm against that. I'd love it if all of Disney World were free.
Well, guess what? I remember when Fastpass was free.
Fastpass, the original, was a paper ticket system.
Actual paper fast passes, almost like a cool souvenir. If you like fax paper and rides that you didn't get on.
Where there were little kiosks outside of the attractions, and you could go and put your park ticket in it and it would spit out another little paper ticket and it would say, come back between this time and this time, and you can skip the line.
Then they moved to Fastpass Plus, which was the virtual version of Fastpass, where it was all done in the My Disney Experience app.
This was contentious a little bit because resort guests got earlier access than regular guests did. It was often your fast passes were totally booked before it was even the day of your trip, but still a free way for you to expedite certain wait times to go on to popular attractions.
Genie Plus is a paid service, so if a guest elects to pay per person in their party, they might be able to be given some preferred access to an attraction based on the attractions that are available for Genie Plus.
When they first rolled it out, people were mad, and now they're still mad. So people continue to be mad. People are less mad once they use it if they know how to use it properly. I have found out that.
Apparently it's going well. According to Disney executives in the earnings calls, a little over a third of Disney guests are purchasing Disney Genie, which is a lot.
I get stopped a lot in the park by people thanking me for teaching them how to use Genie Plus, and they didn't have to wait for any rides. They, didn't queue for anything because they learned to fiddle faddle and because they watched me explain it 100 times.
I think this decision was made for a number of reasons, right? And I think the most jaded among us are going to say it was money. And while I certainly think that was a factor, I don't think Disney's doing this within a vacuum where we only look at money.
Disney's been trying to fix the Fastpass system since it was rolled out. Fastpass has a long history of, yes, being good for people that understand how to use the system, people that understand how to manipulate and plan their travel around the system. It's often very good. For people that don't, it's often very bad.
I've probably pushed Genie Plus to the limits more than any other human being on the planet. I have pulled every single lightning lane in Hollywood Studios in one day. I have gotten over 20 in the Magic Kingdom in one day. I have probably pushed Genie Plus to the max.
The service is convenient. People have gotten somewhat used to it, because it can help your day go smoothly, but it was still free. It used to be free.
You ain't the benefit I be. The next unpopular decision is replacing iconic rides with new rides.
Disney constantly changing. Sometimes that means that a ride gets the boot for a new ride to swoop in.
It's always a hot and spicy topic, yeah.
Oh, this is a difficult decision for me And for others.
People have feelings about rides.
Controversial every time.
I believe that the reason that Disney replaces a lot of iconic rides are for reasons of staying current, of trying to integrate new technology.
You know, maybe the IP isn't resonant anymore. The characters that the ride is based on isn't resonant anymore. Maybe there's a new IP that's particularly resonant that fits within that area. Maybe the ride's not getting a lot of traffic. There's not a lot of people that are riding it and they think the space would be better utilized for something else.
Ride replacements are unpopular because Disney is a brand built on emotion. Disney is a brand built on nostalgia. And Disney is hoping that you go to Walt Disney World when you're little and you have the best time with your parents.
And want to go to a theme park and relive the memories that we had when we either first visited or were a kid.
And it's hard to love something that much and have core memories of pure joy with your family tied to something that is then taken away.
And when that place is gone and when it's replaced, you feel like that little piece, that moment that you had is leaving too.
Perhaps the best example in recent memory is the replacement of the Great Movie Ride with Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway.
I would say the one that made people the angriest is Great Movie Ride to Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway.
I'm wearing this for the rest of the episode because this is ridiculous.
I know it made Duck the angriest.
Mr. Toad's Wild Ride should have never been replaced.
But people who aren't an insane human, that'd be Great Movie Ride.
This is the better version of the Disneyland opening day attraction.
Did you know that Duckfist's precious Mr. Toad's Wild Ride was removed from Magic Kingdom a year before Horizons closed in Epcot?
It's still good enough for the OG. What are you saying, Walt Disney World? That you're better than Disneyland? That you're better than the original?
Now, I truly feel for him. Let me tell you, I feel his Gen X angst. My pain is no worse or no greater. I think we should see eye to eye.
You think you're high and mighty. You didn't even get Walt to walk through.
It's something we share, and I think we should see eye to eye. Just like Powerline said.
The brilliance of Mr. Toad's Wild Ride replaced by that real estate mogul, Winnie the Pooh-Pooh.
I don't mind ride replacements because I get it, you know, and also I'm always excited to ride a new ride. That's like one of the best things ever is getting to ride a new Disney World ride. So I hold space for all my feelings. I am sad when things go and happy when new things come. So ride replacements are complicated.
I'm with Walt. Keep moving forward. We gotta keep doing new things. Wouldn't it be so boring if we only had the same rides for all of time?
I get it, but at the end of the day, we have to be flexible, right? That's the one thing that's never gonna stop about Disney.
I'm for ride replacements.
I want to wish upon a roller coaster and go real fast.
The next unpopular decision is to replace popular fireworks.
Which I would argue tend to make more people mad.
This is a toughie, y'all.
Any fireworks replacement, always unpopular, always controversial.
Talk about nostalgia. Fireworks hit a lot of people because you got tens of thousands of people that end their day by looking up at the sky, hearing iconic music, and probably crying if you're me or like me.
People go wild about Enchantment versus Happily Ever After versus Wishes. It's like the conflict of the century for Disney fans.
Wishes was a classic.
So I loved Wishes. I grew up with Wishes for well over a decade. I also feel that way about Happily Ever After, mostly because I have an unhealthy obsession with Jordan Fisher.
Then Happily Ever After came back after the closure for just a few months, and Disney was like, by the way, this is leaving for all time. And people were shocked because it had only been around for a few years.
Did you guys know he streams video games on Twitch? He does. You should watch him. He's a delightful human. And also, he's the voice of an angel.
You know, Enchantment just opened not too long ago, so perhaps we're still in that like nostalgia phase of we don't like it, we don't, you know, we're not happy with it because it's different, it's new. Maybe. And maybe over time it'll grow and people will be okay with it, but boy, the immediate negative side is far louder than it was with Happily Ever After.
Also plays D&D. I'm not saying we'd be friends. Okay?
I think a lot of people like to hate it through their phone. And for me, fireworks shows are a lot more than looking at some boom booms in the sky. And I'm gonna say it again, I've said it many times in videos. The feeling of being on Main Street and watching a little kid see Tinkerbell fly for the first time, or hearing a family light up because Moana started playing, and you know, that's the movie they watch together, and that's their, you know, that's their Beauty and the Beast.
I know we'd be friends. And I mean that, and it sounds creepy. As I said it.
Illuminations to Harmonious, I have stronger feelings about, because I didn't like Illuminations. And that's like a hot take. And
it was time. Illuminations had aged out. Its message was and still is incredible. But if we are going to continue to try to show new things, keep moving forward, opening new doors, does that quote sound familiar to anyone?
It lasted for 20 years. You had your time.
I love Harmonious. It is probably my favorite nighttime spectacular of all time.
Harmonious is a good show. I love the music.
I absolutely adore Harmonious. I love it.
However, during the day, those barges just sit in World Showcase Lagoon and obstruct what used to be one of the most beautiful parts of Disney World with giant hunks of metal.
The Harmonious barges are a problem.
It's undeniable that they look pretty gross out there in the World Showcase Lagoon.
And there's supposed to be like a fountain.
Child, ain't no fountain show. There is no I have yet to see a spectacular fountain show that justifies that eyesore being there in the day, okay?
Yeah, I think we can all agree we can stand together in the Disney community and all say the Harmonious barges are ugly.
The story comes to life.
I like seeing new stuff. I am a fan of when I go having a reason to stay and watch fireworks. It's a new show that, you know, maybe I see something I've not seen before.
Happily ever after.
We are going to do the one thing to you that every famous person hates.
Now we're going across the country to our final extremely unpopular decision, which was the decision to initially build California Adventure theme park.
Ooh, California Adventure, what a choice that was, right?
In a world where we could do anything, in California, we made a theme park themed around California.
I was there the first year. I grew up in California, and I have to say, it didn't seem like that strange a concept to me.
Rather than actually visiting the Redwood Forest and wrapping your arms around Big Tree to see, look how small I am next to Big Tree.
To me, it just felt like, yeah, cool. You're in California, the greatest state in the world, which I thought at the time, you know, I had a lot of California pride.
Rather than visiting the high-class shopping of Beverly Hills and experiencing Hollywood.
The right thing to do. Yeah, of course you're gonna have a theme park themed after California. You're in California. Why not show it off?
You could just come to Disney California Adventure and experience a fake version of all of those things.
Let's see eye to eye, Duckfist, on this, okay?
The theme was California, and it didn't hit. It didn't have a central icon. It didn't have great attractions. In fact, it had the most notoriously bad attraction Disney's ever made. Superstar Limo was there.
And people were very confused by that park. And I will say, it was a confusing park.
The reception was pretty negative. People saw right through, you know, there were all of these shops. There wasn't a whole lot to do. The attractions that were there were not very good.
It was known for having kind of a cheap theming feel to it. That's not the case anymore.
Disney California Adventure definitely upgraded itself with this retheming. Look, Bob Iger was like, this will not do. He went in there and with this team of Imagineers really transformed it to feel like something more.
I literally love Disney California Adventure now. It has some of the best lands, some of the best food. Cheddar cheese on a stick at the Corn Dog Castle.
They kept the front area. They really invested into Buena Vista Street. They brought more elements from when Walt moved to California to create the animation studio. They set it back in time a bit.
It looks like Hollywood Studios, you know, and I love Hollywood Studios, so that's cool with me.
I feel great about this current version. I feel like Michael Eisner was silly, a silly boy that nobody wanted to tell him.
Just a chill vibe that I feel like I can just go and walk around and enjoy my evening.
What I would say is that people are more delighted than disappointed when they travel to Disney's California Adventure today.
Overall, these decisions, understandable. Culture evolves, things shift, things change, and we have to go with it.
I actually think more than any of the stuff we've talked about in this video, the things that make me the most upset that Disney's taken away and changed are Perks for Resort guests. I think getting rid of Magical Express is a big loss. I remember when I didn't live here and I would come on vacation, my vacation started when I got on the Magical Express. And then I also think the fact that extended hours being just for deluxe guests is icky. It gives me the ick. Like, my family, we stayed at Pop Century a lot because we were park goers. We were rope dropped to close. That's why I am the way I am, because I was told, you're not going back to the pool. We can swim at home. We are paying to be here. And I built that stamina from a young age, which is why I am the way I am today.
Not everything's gonna be a winner, and we just have to be okay with that. I think Disney's hitting a solid 85%, which is better than most theme parks. So let's just hold them to it when they get it wrong.
You ain't never fit like me. Wow, Molly's face is pretty good.
That's really good.
Thank you.
So fast.
Little fast little Disney bound. You ain't never had a friend like me. We clearly have some big opinions on these unpopular decisions. Now go watch our video on Disney parks that never were.